Okay, now they just accused this lady of doing death of some pink boots, and they falsely accused this woman or whatever whatnot, and they had a warrant out on her or whatever whatnot. Real though, and that was kind of fucked up because they don't have no goddamn evidence about the boots or nothing like that. For real though. Anyway, so women have to go to court like multiple times, and they said if she don't go to court, they was gonna issue the warrant back on her. And shit, that shit crazy as hell. Real though. Anyway, so these cops mess with these two dudes, right? And all six of them actually accused them of messing with white girls and what I'm saying, start saying they was judges or whatever whatnot, and they actually mess with these men or whatever whatnot, and they just did some crazy shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They made these dudes get up in the shower, throw eggs at them and all that stuff, and it was crazy. They even sexual assaulted them or whatever whatnot, and it was six men that did this or whatever, and I was like, ugh, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. They nasty as hell. Real though. They sued them and they won $2.5 million. Real though. Goodness. Oh, that's that's good on their behalf right there. You know what I'm saying? Because they won $2.1 million for real though. Anyway, just one cop, actually lost his goddamn mind for just seeing that motherfucking emblems truck up there blocking off certain area, blocking off a certain area or whatever whatnot. She only did that because she wanted to help this construction worker that was blocked under the train tracks or whatever whatnot, and he was badly hurt or whatsoever. For real though. And the cop just lost his fucking mind or whatever. She up there giving him CPR and shit like that. And the cop just actually shouting at her and shit. Dude was out of pocket for real. You know what I'm saying? Got all the workers upset and all that shit. For real though. Because she was doing her job. But dude wasn't dude didn't actually fucking care. For real though. So he was up there just doing this for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then he yanked her away from the patient that was down on the ground or whatever, and then put handcuffs on her damn wrist tightly as hell. For real though. And oh my goodness, everybody just erupted just saying, hey, what the fuck you think you doing? Hell no. For real though. Got the supervisor involved in all that shit, you know what I'm saying? For real though. Especially the one that's over him or whatever whatnot. You know what I'm saying? She told him to take the cuffs off the woman or whatever whatnot. She rushed back to the patient to do her job or whatever. And she sued the city, and she sued the department. And she won $105 million. For real though. But anyway, I think it was a settlement. For real though. But for real, that was some cool shit. For real though. But anyway, they let this dude go. They fired his ass. For real though. First they suspended him. Then when she sued their ass, then they fired his ass. They let him go. For real though. I mean, I'm telling you, that's for real. I'm sure about that, gang. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it a book. Anyway, this woman that shot this 62-year-old man is getting retried. You know what I'm saying? For real though. I mean and she's 21. For real though. Anyway, she thought that he was involved in a car crash or some shit. For real though. Oh my goodness. And then she hunted him down, followed him, tell them where he was going or whatever, and said, get out the car, I'm gonna shoot you. Got out the car, she blinked him down or whatever whatnot. And now they up there saying like it was like AI, like you know, saying some AI situation going on or whatever, whatnot. For real though. But this a lady killed this dude, and they try to let her off easy. For real though, that shit crazy as hell, and that's on broke. For real though. Anyway, so now this like you know one dude, like you know what I'm saying. He was at the bank. He was waiting for the bank to open because the bank opened at 9 o'clock or whatever, whatnot. The like employee got like you know suspicious of him for some fucking reason, or for whatever reason or whatever, whatnot. Riddle, because he thought that he didn't even go to the goddamn bank or whatever, whatnot. Riddle, dude was in the blue Tesla and all that shit. Dude said he was a Airbnb in there or whatever, whatnot. And he said he like you know do business a lot of where everywhere or whatever. He got tons of like Airbnbs for real though. That's what he told the cop. The cop that approached his like vehicle or whatever whatnot for real though. So yeah, he went back and he told the like you know employee that like he's a customer for real though. It was another like you know car up in the parking lot doing the same thing, but he didn't even make noise about that car. Know what I'm saying? For real though, he just made noise about the blue Tesla. Like for real though, that shit was strange as fuck. But nothing didn't go down, nothing didn't like you know it didn't get iffy or nothing like that. For real though, thank goodness he like clarified all that shit. Dude was up there trying to lie and said he had like you know, like some alcohol up in his car waiting right there. Like, goddamn, he said he had business to take care of. He said he go to the bank or whatever when I said he, like, you know, do business in the bank or whatever. Said he got lots of business to take care of. For real, though. So, dude came in and came down off of that shit. Like, when he, like, you know, heard that the cop said that he was a customer, the motherfucker was like, oh, on my ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit crazy as hell. Anyway, so, that's like, you know, oh my goodness, it was crazy as hell. Like, these crazy motherfuckers, and like, they want to get down with some shit or whatever. It was like, anyway, so, this, like, you know, this family lost her son, like, you know what I'm saying? And his mother was, like, worried. His family got worried that summer, you know what I'm saying? For real though. Anyway, so, yeah, the police didn't leave it while I, like, you know, look for her son or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And she, like, you know, was walking around in the woods or whatever. Had people volunteering all that shit, looking all around the woods and shit like that. She found her son dead body right up in the woods. I'm telling you, this ain't no joke, gang. For real. That shit was crazy. Said he had like injuries from bullet wounds and shit, and then they burned his ass. For real though, that's some crazy shit. Left him right in the woods, dead. For real though, I'm telling you, this is no joke, ain't? For real though, I mean, I see it's crazy as hell. Like when law enforcement don't want to do their fucking job when they supposed to do their goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? For real though. Anyway. That shit was on the puppy, gang. For real though. Man, I'm telling you, it was some crazy shit. Crazy ass shit. I'm telling you. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm like, shit. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I remember when cops had to, like, had to arrest this lady for, like, you know, doing like you know going and doing like a sort of battery or whatever whatnot, and she was like a hairstylist or whatever, and she was so worried about her customer like you know hair falling out or whatever whatnot, and they were so gentle with this lady. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, gang, I ain't even playing. I'm serious. They were so gentle with this lady. They was so polite to this lady. They didn't even like rush her in the car or nothing like that. Oh my goodness, that shit was crazy as hell, but hey, I seen that shit happen before. You know what I'm saying? For real though. I mean, that shit happened a lot of times like a motherfucker. For real though. I'm telling you, that shit crazy gang, but shit. Hey, I'm not surprised about that shit because that shit always happens, you know what I mean? And that's on bro. But anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit the bell on notifications so you see my next upload and my next post. And I'll make sure I make another one tomorrow. And oh yeah, you can check out my previous videos if you like, gang. So long, farewell, goodbye.